Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast. It's Wednesday. It's Pro Wrestling Weekly. What a week it's been in wrestling, I have to say. A lot of cloudy bits kind of uncovered now. We had a couple of shows, a couple of brilliant shows to go through and stuff like that as well. Some news bits as well to go through and a couple of updates, all that kind of good stuff. Massive night in the Champions League as well, of course. So I'm sure the chat will keep us updated on that if they're not busy at it and stuff like that. But we've a heck of a show to go through, Sean. And on the back of like a heck of a night last night, both of us were at Limp Bizkit and we're both feeling it now. Me probably feeling a lot more than you because I have a 1 or 2 years on you. But still keeping it lit, still going, even at this tender age of 53. Keep it going.
And you don't look a day past 52.
There you go. It's the beard, you see. It's the beard. I need to shave this off. I look much younger. And then Sunday I have main 25 with Mark McCabe. So I'm at that with my wife.
Nice.
So I have to kind of get the body back in order and prepare them for Sunday to break it all down again.
Are you standing for that?
No. The days of me standing and stuff now are pretty much gone at this stage. No, but having said that now, last night I stood a lot more than I sat. That's for sure. The seat was definitely rocking last night as well. So
the seats are just the standing section upstairs at that point, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. He called it as well. And I had a real good time and stuff like that. And it was nice throwing back, and he certainly did bring us back to 99. That's for sure. Real good time. In the chat, Ian was saying, "What's the story, Ian? Good to see you, my friend. What's the crack? The crack is we have a ton of stuff to cover tonight, and we're going to get straight into it. So we will begin in sequential order with AEW Revolution, and again another solid show from them. The only dynamic I thought was after watching Roadblock was the 0 hour on this. Undisputed Kingdom and Jericho on the 0 hour. And I was thinking, what a difference a day makes. And then you have over on this side, NXT Roadblock, absolutely knocking it out of the park. The house that Undisputed Era created practically nearly. You know what I mean? I was thinking, my God, that's incredible, isn't it?
A house with a new paint job. Back then, absolutely. It was black and gold.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into AEW Revolution. We'll glance over. We don't want to get into too much detail and stuff like that and all. I thought it was a really, really good pay-per-view. I was impressed with a lot of it and stuff like that. The one thing I would say is probably the only bit that kind of let it down really was the main event. And looking at the lineup, that's not unusual really, because we've had views on Moxley being the champion out there, the face of AEW, and how we feel about that. And poor old Cope looks like he's finding it difficult to cope. Give me your thoughts.
I think the importance of a main event and how it can boost a card to an all-timer. Or also, you're right, Reggie? Good to see you, bro. Or absolutely, totally spoil a great undercard. And I think this did the latter. This was a 10 out of 10 show for me that fell to a 9 after this match. And it was so bad, I could have easily gone like an 8 or a 7. I feel they really, the phrase kill 2 birds with 1 stone. That's normally like a good thing.
Right.
But they killed 2 birds and then continued to shoot them and stamp on them and then bring them back to life and then shoot them again. So Moxley is still AEW World Champion, and Christian Cage is, God, he won it in Wembley. I was there at Wembley. The contract that he won at Wembley, useless. Rendered absolutely useless. Oh, dear. And I could tell they were struggling. And I was talking to my brother about this, and he said, well, like, if any of the matches were going to be bad, it's okay if it's that one. I'm like, what? You mean the main event for the AEW World Heavy, the biggest fucking belt in the company? He's like, it's fine. I'm like, no, it's not fine.
The marquee.
The 2 people on the poster. Yeah.
So long as we get Ospreay and Fletcher killing themselves in a cage, it's all good. It doesn't matter what happens in the main event.
It reminds me of Alan Partridge, where he gets the terrible news and then he just goes, oh yeah, still good news about the Terry's Chocolate Orange. Cope and Moxley had the worst AEW main event ever. Well, still good news about MJF and Hangman Page. But no, but I don't think it was enough to totally spoil my enjoyment of the rest of the card. I thought the rest of the card was really, really strong. Should we go in the order that's laid out here? Starting with Ricochet and Swerve?
Yeah, well, yeah, whatever way you want to take it, absolutely.
Yeah, I had a bit of a nasty feeling in my gut that Prince Nana was going to turn on Swerve. I'm very happy that didn't happen, and I've always liked Swerve. I've never liked him more now because I think what John Moxley is on right now, you can't say anything other than a reign of terror. And it needs to end ASAP. And I think Swerve is a really, really good guy to do that. Because even though he lost the belt and even though he's in this feud at Ricochet and everything's happened to him this year, or not end of last year, starting this year, he's still a huge name, still incredibly popular, still incredibly prominent and reliable. Like he could be a world champion anywhere. And I think, I mean, Acers I don't think you'll find anyone coming at your neck disagreeing with you.
We're on the same Hangman Page here.
Yeah, but Ricochet is also really, really good as well. And I think he will become AEW World Champion at some point. But for now, I think when you look at those two, there's no one really that it should be other than Swerve. So yeah, that was really. I almost said it was a really good opener, but it's just the way it was. It's laid out here. The opener was actually Hangman Page MJF.
Yeah,
my God, absolutely fantastic. Really brutal as well. There's a couple of spots where I was like cringing and contorting, holding my neck, holding my shoulder, holding everything. I think MJF, he can kind of be a little corny and generic, and sometimes it feels like he's trying too hard to get a reaction. And when you only know him like that, you would forget that he can be as good as he is here. And I don't think that's necessarily down to a good dance partner. Typically, like some wrestlers are great with other people, but they're great with some people. I mean, Max is really, really good with everybody, I think. So this was a really solid match. I think Hangman Page winning was the right thing. I think the Fallen Angel that he hit on MJF was absolutely atrocious. My God, it looked like something out of backyard wrestling. It was so stiff. And I like how Hangman Page is still like an evil-ish cowboy, but he has a lot of remorse and a lot of regret for retiring Christopher Daniels. So it shows me that he has morals and he's not just like an angry... Because you can see Hangman Page and you could think he's just like an angry cowboy, but he's really layered and there is a soft shell, a soft layer of skin underneath. It's very, very hard shell.
He's starting to show us that bit of depth now, isn't he? That we kind of longed for and knew was there.
100%.
But he struggled to present it to us, basically. And he obviously got wrapped up last year and all in a lot of stupid shit. That kind of took away from Hangman Page himself, you know what I mean? So it's, absolutely.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Will Ospreay call Fletcher?
Another absolutely brilliant match. I think Cage's, I'm sure we'll talk about them on Raw. When done right, they are brilliant. When the sense of dread and the sense of like heightened aggression is in there because you're locked in a cage with a man who you hate who's trying to defeat you. I really like when it's done well. So it just shows like when it's done well, it can still deliver. Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher absolutely delivered. Seth and Punk delivered, which we'll get to later on, I'll imagine. But the blood in this was really, it added to it. There's a lot of times, especially with AEW, where they do blood like almost every time, especially when Moxley is around. So it kind of loses its shock value. Like when you see someone bleeding in fire, you're like, oh shit, they're bleeding. Man, it's going to be great. But with AEW, you're just like, oh, of course he's bleeding again. But with Ospreay and Fletcher, even though I think they've bled like the last 2 or 3 times they faced each other, it really, really complemented it and added to it. It added to the pressure because I think everyone wanted to see Kyle Fletcher lose because he's a bit of an arsehole. But there was times where I think it was uncomfortable, but in a good way. Like this wasn't just about winning a cage match on pay-per-view. It was about a friend who turned his back on you. So it had to be violent and had to be gritty. It had to be kind of grindhouse-ish, if you know what I mean. And I think that was it. great win for Ospreay, and I'm looking forward to seeing where Kyle Fletcher goes from here.
Yeah, definitely carried the weight of the depth of what has gone on between them. So that's for sure, and that's the deliverable, really, isn't it? Does it give us and deliver on us the weight of what it's carrying in the backstory? And that's what's so important. And I think Kyle Fletcher's rise as well has been absolutely phenomenal as well. He's an absolute star. The Hurt Syndicate, are they growing on you? They're kind of growing on me now. I think I'm nearly more into the Hurt Syndicate than I was the Hurt Business, to be honest.
Yeah. No, Hurt Syndicate are great. I will say, though, I think aside from the main event, this is probably the weakest match on the card for me. I like the Outrunners. I think their gimmick is really funny and it's a lot of fun and doesn't take itself too seriously. But I don't think there is ever any doubt in my mind that they weren't going to win.
Yeah.
I feel the Hurt. It could just be because I'm so used to like WB sanitizing them down. The Hurt Syndicate genuinely seem like bad guys. Bad dudes who you do not want to mess with, certainly don't want to mosh with in a pit with a load of red hats. But Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley are two great wrestlers. They work very well as a team.
Yeah.
MVP, I was kind of unsure how to feel about him as a manager, just because I knew he could wrestle. I knew he was good, but he's like if you ever played the Def Jam games. He's like D-Mob. He's like an enforcer, like an overruler who oversees everything. And even though like he's small, a lot smaller than Shelton and Lashley, he's still someone you wouldn't want to cross. And I think he really adds to their kind of sinister, no nonsense vibe that they have. I didn't see the Outrunners standing a chance.
I loved the Iron Addicts promo as well with CT Fletcher. Was good when they were in the gym and all, and you know, and the great CCT looking so good as well, because I mean he had a number of health scares there a few years ago, so hats off to CT. He's an absolute legend, like, you know. So
absolutely, I think their presentation, their gimmick, and all that is a lot of fun, and you can tell they put a lot of effort into it, and that really resonates. But I don't think they're ready for the belts yet. It will come at some stage, but just not tonight. The Hurt Syndicate winning was the right choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Kenny Omega, fantastic match. Absolutely. Next up, Okada, Brody King.
Another very good match. Again, like the Hurt Syndicate and the Outrunners, not one where I could really see championship getting dropped. But Brody King is fantastic. Okada, when he came in and they paired him with, as Jim Cornette calls him, Balding Book, the EVP books, I was like, how do you have Japanese wrestling royalty? And you put him with two unfunny bad wrestlers who haven't been cool in like 7 years.
7 years, I was thinking 7 years.
But I think he actually, now that not that he's straight away from the books are taking I think their contract says their dates are limited or something. So let's hope we limit the dates just a little bit more than we have now, even though they haven't been seen for a while. No, it's not. No, get away with
it's
that.
good. I like it.
It's catchy. It's memorable. It's got a catchy course and a catchy hook. The mixing on it is good. It suits their character. It's badass, but it's also intimidating, but also cool. Like cool and effortless and sly, but it's also like we hurt people. It gives a message. Not hearing that.
Absolutely.
Get away with that, you know. Fool. Anyway, Okada and Brody King. I think Okada, he's able to balance being funny and kind of goofy. Not goofy, but like having like all those facials and the sounds he makes, but also being fucking Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker, who was once the best wrestler in the world. Brody King is very underrated. Very, very underrated. I think when you see him whenever I think of Brody King, I always think of like the House of Black, and Villain Enterprises in Ring of Honor. So it's kind of hard to think like how he is on his own, and he's very, very good on his own. Very, very. No, it's not shite. End of story.
He's shouting at the TV here, but he's sending it to us in capital letters. See that there?
I guarantee you by the end.
It's only the end of your story. It's not the end of our story.
Guarantee you by the end, this is probably going to be like picking up shards of glass from his carpet after. We're just going to keep telling him.
Or changing his ringtone to the Hurt Syndicate team.
God, can you imagine?
Yeah.
But no, this is a really good match. Good thing that Okada won.
Yeah. Tony Storm picking up the win versus Mariah May. These two have serious chemistry,
Yeah.
don't they?
I didn't think it should have been main event until I saw the main until I saw the main event. I heard criticism for this that it was too short. It was like just over 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I understand that, but this shouldn't have been a match because it was a war, it was a fight. It was essentially a sanctioned, unsanctioned match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, one thing I am annoyed about is Mariah May pulled out a taser. It got kicked away. It was never used or mentioned again. How do we move on from that? You know?
Yeah, I get you.
No, this
Listen,
was.
I didn't pick up on that. I'm glad you picked up on it because
Yeah.
I did pick up on that. Most people probably didn't.
Yes, so it was like picked up, hits the button, everyone's going, "Oh, taser!" Then gets slapped out of her hand, and the world spins. But this was seriously good hardcore match.
Yeah.
Violent, but also layered in storytelling and the visual of the end, like the end of a Hollywood movie, being on the Titantron was a really, really cool touch. This has been a really, really good feud with two great wrestlers that start with a bang. And even though Mariah May lost and didn't get the Hollywood ending, she still comes out of it looking great.
Yeah. There's no losers in this at all.
No, absolutely not. And I think it's a credit to RJ City because he actually, I think he's like part of the creative, but he's a big fan of like vintage cinema.
Yeah.
And like 1950s and 60s films. I got a cameo from him for my brother for his birthday. And he spent like the first 2 minutes of it talking about like vintage cinema and asking like and giving me like names of people to look up and films to watch. So I really liked what he did here. This is a really good match. If I knew what was going to happen in the main event, I probably would have swapped them out at this main event instead of Moxley and Adam Cope Edgeland. But this was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And a great win for Tony Storm. And just shows that girls can do the death matches and the hardcore stuff just as good as the men.
Yeah, big up Romy. And then we had, of course, Takeshita versus Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega picking up the win. This is like, I think the chemistry between these two, like, just is. I mean, this card, when you look at this card, there's just so much chemistry down through it. And it's really, really good as well because they've put in a little bit of backstory in these as well, which is something they're not renowned for doing because their pay-per-views tend to be, one hit kind of thing, you know what I mean? But with this, there was a bit in it that you could buy into it and stuff like that. Good to see Kenny Omega back as well, doing his thing as he can. And Takeshita's the perfect dance partner in this case, isn't it?
Yeah, I will say, I know we chat shit about the Elite. I think the books are dog shit, but Kenny has always been tremendous. And I think when AEW started, he just kind of wasn't winning as much. He wasn't exactly the cleaner in New Japan. But I think it's good for him to win because he feels like the final boss.
Yeah,
he is a real legitimate athlete. So if an EVP was going to be like this high up in the company, you would expect it to be Kenny. And I it's like I'm getting nostalgic now seeing that. What's Jones to make it? What, the company or the show?
I'd say he just means in general.
Well, there's a lot of people there.
Yeah.
A lot of other people when you take out Tony Storm and Kenny Omega who hold their weight on this card and also in the company in general. So
yeah. WWE are knocking out of the park with the WCW channel. Knocking out of the park. They've just announced they're doing the channel. They haven't knocked that out of the park yet.
Yeah. Easy, Tiger. But no,
you can't knock stuff out of the park that you've already viewed and you already know.
Yeah,
that doesn't knock out of the park. It's more nostalgia than anything.
Yeah,
you're not getting that new.
Eno's 2-2 with Rotten Opinions tonight. Hurt Syndicate music being shy, and now WCW. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, I think Takeshita. I think I've said in the past he's like the Japanese Mike Awesome. I love Mike Awesome. I love men who are big, who can. God, it was a really good pay per view, actually, wasn't it? Not very happy about that main event. Don't know how much you want to dwell on it. I feel like we're in hell. Bilal Muhammad and Magomed Ankalaev are holding titles. Dear God, is there no savior? Oh my God!
It's like they have it wrapped up, isn't it? It's like a kind of like a syndicate. It's like, what would it be like? You know, the old NWA board that controlled the territories. It's kind of like all these guys have come in and they're just so good, but they just look like, I don't know what they look like. They look like prehistoric man, and that they would just rip your heart out like an Indiana Jones movie or something. You know what I mean? And it's like, God.
Magomed Ankalaev gives Panadol a headache. And Bilal Muhammad cures insomnia.
Nakamura will be free agent soon. Apparently, he's open to teaming up with Okada again. I would look. I think, to be honest with you, I think the best move for Shinsuke Nakamura now is probably to get out of WWE.
Yeah,
I think they've tried everything. I think they've done everything. I think the Shinsuke Nakamura that we knew and loved from New Japan, that came in such a massive way, and that we knew and loved in NXT, just stepped over some step into SmackDown or Raw and just left that all behind.
Yeah. I think you're talking about the later stuff. I think that was actually quite good. But the thing is, the stuff prior to that with Vince had just lowered his stock so much that it makes it very hard to get. He did. I'm telling you, I told my friends if I saw Connor, I'd get a neck crank on him. I didn't see him. And I didn't. I checked his story. No evidence of him being there.
Fred Durst wasn't slagging him. He was promoting him because apparently the talk was that some of the after party was going to be up in the Black Forge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the talk going around. Yeah.
No, but God, Connor. He said, "Oh, I heard Conor McGregor's here, big boos." And then he goes, "No, you like Conor McGregor? Boo." And he's like, "Oh, I don't think you like him, boo." And then, "You taking care of Conor out there? Boo." He got more boos than John Carnage just by mentioning Conor.
God, he was jarring, wasn't he?
Limb biscuit.
Oh my God, he's so jarring. How did he get 15 minutes out of that?
I don't know. I will say I really liked when he was trying to do the Google Translate thing. And it was too quiet. And then he said, "Oh, I just saw a new group of people came in, so I'll start the show again. Hi, I'm John Carnage." And like, he was there to piss us off. So by the time Limp Bizkit came out, we were on fire. But that would have happened anyway. I don't know.
Nakamura, I don't know about whether they've been treated bad. I mean, Nakamura, okay, I know he had a difficult time through that kind of Vince period and stuff like that, but there's not many wrestlers who didn't really. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, but I don't think H. I mean, H has, you know, brought Shinsuke to the water a number of times to try and get him to drink, and it just doesn't seem fit. This new dark samurai kind of thing, I thought was a little bit weird. I didn't think it would kind of work out because I don't know what it is about the Japanese wrestlers, and we love Japanese wrestling and stuff like that and all, but trying to play some sort of a medieval mystical kind of character kind of thing just doesn't sit with them. It just doesn't work, and it kind of tends to sometimes be the go-to. If it's not working, look, we'll just make you a samurai. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like it's, you know,
it feels stereotypical as well.
Yeah,
because it's a mostly American, not mostly American, but like they're appealing to an American audience who, when they think of Japan, are going to think of samurais. Yeah, same reason we had Hornswoggle. When they think of Ireland, they're going to think of leprechauns and William Regal. Yeah, you know, being like
and it's so difficult. It's so difficult to dust that off you. Like when you think when Becky first came in, they had her doing like all that like Irish dancing thing and all and everything. It was absolutely insane. And look at how quickly she shed that and how she moved on, and she went through the steampunk stuff, and then she came out of that and all other stuff, and she just kept involved in all the time. You know, you look at Sheamus as well, who was kind of, you know, with Finlay and Hornswoggle and Shillelaghs and all this kind of stuff, and typical Irish stuff. And again, he shed it and he was able to become that Celtic warrior. I think some guys just can't wrap their head around, you know, okay, we're going to try and put this on you, but we want you to take the ball and make it what you want it to be.
Yeah.
And I just think there's a struggle there, you know. I mean, like, listen, the guy is super talented. Both they are, Kerry and Nakamura, super talented. There's no doubt about it. But like, I I don't know. The business just sometimes needs you to be more than super talent. We're after being talking about AEW Revolution here and how guys are starting to,
Yeah.
how guys are starting to show us some stuff now and, kind of evolve and step out and all that kind of stuff and all, you know what I mean? That's what sometimes needs to happen. And unfortunately, some people just probably struggle to do that, you know what I mean? Let's move on anyway, because we've a lot to cover. So, Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, it was grand, I suppose. Man is a joke. That man is an icon.
Oh my God. We were at the gig last night, Romy. It was incredible. Incredible.
Only relevant it was kicked out. You do know, like, he's a singer, Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Who performed at Woodstock and performed at WrestleMania and did all these really cool things.
Was actually blamed on Woodstock's riot, basically. He was told to go out and calm the crowd down. He goes, yeah, right.
Yeah, and look, I'm not gonna say he helped, but acting like everything that went wrong in that festival was purely down to him and the boys, I think is ridiculous.
That festival was a shit show way before that. Way before that, absolutely.
It would make Pantera in Dublin look like I don't know what.
I have to say, look, as a 53-year-old, I sat in the Tree Arena last night. I was able to listen to Rollin' and My Way and all these classic songs and stuff like that. And it just took me back, because I'm such a wrestling fan as well, it took me back to those WrestleManias and those moments and those songs and all that kind of stuff. And it was just super cool, you know?
My big regret is that I didn't get the Austin Rock video package on my phone during My Way. Have you seen people are doing that now?
Yeah,
pull it up on the phone and hold it up and watch it as My friend, I actually met a guy who was a big wrestling fan, was wearing a WrestleMania jersey, is going to Mania this year, goes to OTC, goes to Fight Factory, and he said, I'm gonna pull up My Way on my phone during when it's saying My Way, can you film it for me? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I lost him in the mosh pit. And he didn't get to do it. So maybe next year.
Carrie is a sidekick. She's so talented, and Triple H ruined her on the main roster. Naka in a new company will cook. Absolutely. Look, both of them will cook. And I mean, and that's what I would always say to people. Look, if it's not working out for you, it's not the only show in town. It's the show in town, but not the only show in town. You know what I mean? And I'd like nothing more than both of them to go out there and absolutely light it up outside of WWE. Not a problem at all.
And if you watch Shinsuke's match with, I think it was it the Great Muta in DDT? Or not fuck's sake, not DDT, Noah. He was a star. So I think he could absolutely go back to Japan and still be hugely popular.
And Ace was saying Nakamura will never win the WWE Championship, World Heavyweight Championship. That's not a problem. That's not an issue. There's tons of wrestlers out there will never hold either of those titles. It doesn't make them bad wrestlers.
Some of the best wrestlers in the world never held those titles.
Sean's saying, big up Sean, my mate. Tony Storm versus Mariah May was the best thing on the show. There you go. Sean called it. Should have been the main event. I hope AZM don't go to WWE. They'll make her a sidekick. Don't know. Some people are talented enough to step out of that and forge that kind of that understanding and stuff like that.
I didn't hear anything about her potentially going. Is that just rumors or is that? Oh, Steve.
I know Romy's been talking. You mean Stephen Farrell? No, I don't. I mean Seamus.
Who's Stephen Farrell?
Stephen Farrell, some guy used to be a bouncer on Grafton Street.
Some ginger fella from Cabra. I mean,
that's it. Stephen Farrell was IWW champion. When Vince said to Balls Mahoney, Northern Ireland wasn't Irish, my friend from Belfast wanted to knock his teeth in. That's okay.
I saw that. I was watching what was it called? Confidential. WB Confidential. It's like a backstage vlog thing where they show stuff. And they showed John Cena, tokenomics John Cena in Belfast. And he went to like a castle in Belfast looking out over the sea and he goes, oh, the English are coming. And he went to a pub with Finlay to have a Guinness, hated it, and asked the guy for chocolate milk instead. And the bartender was like, man, you fucking joking. So good.
Limp Hill Durst makes a Trump tariff a lot of win. Stop now. Stop. Don't tell me you didn't get out of your seat when Undertaker came out on the bike and Roland was pumping with all the girls dancing and Durst losing and all. Don't give me that.
It just seems like Kenobi's having one of those days. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I hope his team is doing all right. Unless there's a problem, is he having a pretty because his team is playing tonight in a big game in the Champions League. So let's
It's
get an update.
it's possibly
It's
that
2-all.
we'll let it
His,
slide.
his team is losing at the moment, so he's
Oh,
reverted
okay.
to wrestling. Did you
Never
see
mind.
Sean Ross Sapp called LA Knight a cable television star?
Oh, it's quite naughty.
Let that ferment.
Enough
Do
cheek
we
for another
do we
arse.
need to get into Moxley and Cope?
Waste. Can't believe they ruined Christian. The only positive for me is we could potentially be getting Cope and Christian again. Really enjoyed the hardcore match they had at World's End. Really enjoyed the TNT title match they had on Dynamite. Hopefully they can.
Go ahead, go on. Sorry, yeah.
I was going to say, really enjoyed their TNT title match. I would say I'm excited to see him again, but man, Cope did not look great in this match.
He's not coping. He's not coping,
No.
as they say. Yeah.
Barely coping. Yeah, and I don't think I can cope with Cope.
This is interesting from Romy today. I got a picture in today and I sent it into the WhatsApp group. But what it was a picture of the winged eagle in the middle, and I had Ted DiBiase, Rick Rude, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Kurt Hennig. Pick one to be champion.
Jake the Snake, Kurt Hennig,
Ted DiBiase, and Rick Rude.
So man, I just think in terms of heel and like character and presence, would say either Rick Rude or Mr. Perfect. How can you watch those old vignettes of him like doing all that stuff and say, actually, no, we're not going to make him world champion? I can give you a couple of people who were never world champion, who are some of the best in the world. William Regal, Lance Storm, Dean Malenko, Jake the Snake Roberts, British Bulldog, Ken Shamrock. There's loads here. I'm getting a full list just to make sure I'm just to make sure I'm not missing out. Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper never held the world championship.
The list, there's so many, but look, it's a card. Not everyone can be champion. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just that doesn't mean that you can't find your niche and be important and be part of what builds to that kind of thing and all. You know, so
no, absolutely not.
Yeah. In this case, it was reverse order kind of thing. Yeah, on this one, but we won't dwell on it much longer because we are going to get into Raw. And we're going to follow through on it. Everest is in. I don't watch wrestling, but I'll say that I'm glad to see Celtic Warrior workouts uploading again. Really love seeing Sheamus feature people beyond their face and hair personas. Yeah, it's really, really cool, actually.
They're fun to watch as well.
They turned down Metallica for Limp and they offered to do WrestleMania for free.
Because Limp Bizkit is WWE's favorite band and Metallica are not. It's not that hard.
Oh, shots
But I
fired.
do like, yeah. Or there were, but I do know. I think Metallica are actually touring America, but they have like on one night they have Limp Bizkit supporting, on the other night they have Suicidal Tendencies, and the other night they have Pantera. So I'm sure they're friends, but just not. Yeah, it pisses them off. Well, unless their real name is also their wrestler name. So you can call John Cena John Cena. You can call Steve Austin Steve Austin. You can call Jeff and Matt Hardy Jeff and Matt Hardy.
Is there a chance the Hardy Boys will win the next tag team titles? We'll get into that because we're going to be covering Roadblock, which was pretty cool, I have to say as well. Swerve Strickland will be screwed in title match against Moxley. Ace has gone with Rick Rude. We also have a good one for you guys tonight as well. Let me just finish off these comments.
Rick Wright. He called him Rick Wright.
Should have been champion, but his back injury killed his career. Absolutely. Just a bunch of them out there. I thought WWE's favorite band was
it was Limp Bizkit. Then it was, I think, Skillet and Saliva. Then Flo Rida, and now I think it's The Weeknd.
There's so many. I mean, Disturbed, Creed. They've had so many and stuff like that. So many iconic things.
And I'm going to say it. I'm not afraid. And if I get shit in this for the comments, I don't care. Creed are not that bad. Yeah. Do you know, I was watching like an old Make-A-Wish video the WWE did. And they have like the kids in the wheelchairs and stuff. And then P. Diddy comes out. It's like, hey, I'm Sean P. Diddy Combs. I'm here to tell you. And then like, you're like, no, God. Yeah.
Switch it off. Delete.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
crazy, isn't it? Some things just don't age well. That's the problem. You see, it's
No,
mad, isn't it? Like, you know.
absolutely not.
Yeah. We would preface as well. He was probably brought in at a time under the Vince McMahon regime. So
Oh yeah.
read into that whatever way you want. Now it's Steve Williams, not Austin. What?
No, isn't it?
Come on.
Steve Austin Williams.
Oh, he's not happy tonight at all. Look at that. Creed, for fuck's sake.
No.
That's my sacrifice. Come on.
Yeah.
Those vignettes are unreal. I still watch them to this day. That Austin vignette, that Creed, my sacrifice, Austin one.
It's just beautiful.
Incredible. The one where he gets hit with the chair and the blood is coming down off him and everything. It's unbelievable. And he's caning people with a chair as well in it. It's incredible pieces
Roll
of
me,
stuff.
Roll Me One Kenobi is not doing himself any favors tonight. Shit talking.
He's not happy. He has us on one screen and he has Real Madrid on the other screen, and he's not happy with the way it's going.
Well, I hope Real Madrid get 5 people sent off and the games get suspended just for you.
What are your predictions for our TNA sacrifice? Haven't even looked at it, Sean. I've had such a hectic week. Barely hit the pillow at this stage.
I think the main event's a 10-man cage match, I think.
So tell us, Romy, tell us, what did you like? What did you like? You're winding us up now here. You're in character here or something.
Roll me. Kenobi, give me, what was your Spotify Wrapped? Or what gigs have you gone to?
Unbelievable.
I'm a sound student. I'm incredibly modern. I'm well liked. I often have people who are older than me say, you have great taste in music. So, like, you know, back up. Tell me what you're going to do now. Your mouth's writing checks that your ass can't cash.
I like One Last Breath more than My Sacrifice, but to each their own. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it just reminds me of that time with Awesome when he was wreaking havoc and all and stuff.
Apples and oranges, but My Sacrifice is often associated with nostalgia.
Yeah,
video packs and stuff, so that helps. Absolutely. And also, Creed are not that bad. They're not my favorite band, but they're fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's some that you're going to dip in, and you like that moment in WWE. And then you dip back out, and you may not necessarily like a whole lot more and stuff like that and all, you know. So it depends on what you like and what you don't, and what it reminds you of from a nostalgia point of view. You know what I mean? Like, there's times I've tolerated Kid Rock. Just saying. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, that's out there. That's out there. I was drunk at Mania 25 dancing to Kid Rock in the intro to that Divas Battle Royal. I can tell you that now. And I was probably only one of about 5 people in the stadium dancing. That's how intoxicated I was. So
I can, because of Kid Cash and The Undertaker, they're the only reasons I can listen to Kid Rock. Pantera, Metallica.
Motorhead. Great show.
Wait, does that look like a birthmark? Pantera, Metallica, Motorhead, and Thin Lizzy. You know, I like all those bands, but I also still like Limp Bizkit.
Yeah,
and maybe a little bit.
But you see, if someone ended up with my phone, my Spotify listening is insane because I love house music, I love dance music, I love rave music, I love rock, I love.
Yeah,
people would look at my Spotify playlist and think this guy is disturbed.
I wonder what was your if you remember, what was your Spotify Wrapped #1 song of the year? Kenobi as well, because you're on thin ice with music here. Mine was A Dangerous Meeting by Merciful Fate.
Okay.
Absolutely brilliant song. King Diamond's vocals are just absolutely electric. Sued for dancing that at Mania. You're acting like the Kid Rock performance is the worst thing about that Mania. You do know that Mania was main evented by Triple H and Randy Orton.
Bar Sean Taker.
So a match that had, or lead up to the match that had home invasions, an attacking of family members, one of them being Stephanie McMahon. Triple H was not allowed to get disqualified or else he'd lose the title.
And Mark Henry selling a crossbody from Hornswoggle.
Yeah, but again, you say that as if it's the worst thing. Yeah, I would watch Kid Rock at Mania and be one of the 5 people dancing to that.
20 and listen, times. I'm the kind of guy who comes on here and admits it. I could turn around and go, that never happened. But it did. Listen, it is. It is. I should have been sued. Absolutely. Listen, WWE sued me because they basically took my money for the trash.
Yeah. I think because of Sean and Taker, and I promise I'll get on to Raw after this, but I think Sean and Taker is so good. There's often like an air of respect around that Mania.
Yeah.
If that air is, and because of that air of respect, I don't think the main event gets the abuse it deserves.
And not only that, it wasn't like even that match didn't have its problems.
No,
let's be clear. I mean, it was phenomenal, the journey it took us on, and the heaven and hell and all was cool. But when you see, what was it? Was it Randy Orton, or was it Randy Orton delivering the punt to Triple H, and Triple H selling, and he missed him by about 2 feet with it. Remember when he was lying across the ropes like that to punt him? And he missed it by this much, and Triple H sold it.
And then they did each other's finishers, and the crowd didn't even.
The highlight for me at that show, apart from Sean Taker, was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's crossbody off the top rope.
He looked incredible, didn't he? Yeah,
incredible.
I wonder, because I remember that was because of The Wrestler, the film, and Mickey Rourke was meant to face Jericho, but that happened instead. I wonder what would, even with the curtains closed, and even if the tickets were €2.
Roll me. I had a lot of drink in me that night, trust me. Yeah. I was trying to drink my way through one of the most disappointing WrestleManias. And for years, I chased these WrestleManias to find a winner against The Undertaker. So that streak just annoyed me.
You didn't like the streak?
No, I cheered for Edge. I knew Mark Henry at 22 obviously wasn't going to wasn't going to beat him, obviously based on the size of the casket that they brought out, because it was like a skip, So, but my God, everyone else, I cheered for Shawn so many times, I cheered for H so many times, Edge, CM Punk, Bray Wyatt, everyone, I cheered for them all. And what did I get in the end? Lesnar.
I think
all the people.
He was pretty reasonable to do it. I think because he needs someone that looks like that to beat him. So
yeah, I don't know. I would have taken Edge at 24, to be honest.
Edge 24 or Punk.
Yeah, or Punk, yeah. Botchamania is the greatest gift to wrestling fans, indeed. It certainly is. Niall, you're Irish. You can handle your drink. Stop lying. I can handle my drink. But do you know what mistake I made that night as well? I was drinking beer, and I don't drink beer. Beer. Oh, I did, by the way. I seen a video today of 2 girls who went into a bar in Vegas, and they ordered 4 vodkas and Red Bull.
Oh no!
$300.
4
vodkas and Red Bull. $300. I had to check my allowance for Vegas. I might have to up it a bit.
Wasn't Ticketmaster, surely?
No, there was no surcharges around.
Yeah.
I think this was after paying $40 each to get into the bar.
Oh my God.
Crazy. Now we were at the G1 Climax at 35. It was Ring of Honor versus New Japan in a Madison Square Garden. And we were drinking Grey Gooses and Cokes, myself and Dino. And they were $28 a go, plus the tip.
Yeah. The only thing I remember from that show is Enzo and Cass running in on the Briscoes at the end.
Yes. And the Dudleys and all bailing out of the locker room to beat the crap out of them and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then nothing came. But Sean, scrapper tickets are on sale on Monday. No word on who we're going to get. It's going to be something big. But I can tell you OTT are having their homecoming show in the Ambassador Theatre in O'Connell Street next Saturday. They uploaded a video today, like a really well put together video of Sammy D. They have literally all but confirmed that he's going to be facing Pete Dunne. So that is incredibly exciting. I just wonder who Trent will face. My guess is going to be Justy, because they're picking someone from their own past to take each other on. So Trent's picked Pete. Sammy's probably going to pick like Justy, or I was going to say Barry, but I don't know.
Should be. Boy, Kane have ended the streak.
Can we please get a moderator to ban him or something? Like,
we need to assign moderation duties in here soon, don't we?
My God.
Fernando's in. Big up Fernando. What's up, everyone? Good seeing the chat, my friend. Let us know how you're doing.
You're right,
we'll have to glaze over Raw. We can't stay on it too long. So let's just talk Rollins, Punk, steel cage. We don't need to dwell really on AJ protecting Andrew Schultz against Logan Paul or anything really. Jey Uso obviously getting another kind of semi-beat down. We could enjoy, Chad Gable as a lucha. We can go
That's
through
Ray
this
Fenix.
pretty.
That's Ray Fenix. It's not Chad Gable. It's Ray Fenix, surely.
I don't know. A lot of people are saying it's Chad Gable.
Imagine it is Ray Phoenix. That's how they reveal him.
He looks a bit stocky for Ray Phoenix, in fairness. Yeah.
I don't know.
Cody's promo calling out John Cena, I liked.
Yeah. I think because Cena's going to be on Raw next week in Brussels, which, by the way, 8:00 start time here in Erin, so you won't stay up. So I think until that, we're not really going to get much from Cody other than John Cena, you're a bad man, you beat me up, yada yada, I'm going to beat you at Mania kind of thing. But I am very interested because as I touched on trauma, we did that podcast talking about Elimination Chamber, and John Cena destroyed my life, my childhood, and everything in between.
Last week's pro wrestling therapy.
Yeah, and it was therapy, and I feel in a better state, but I still feel a bit sad when I see. I don't know where the heel turn's going with Cena. And one thing we mentioned last week that he did the interview with Chris Van Vliet saying he had new ring gear made for when he was meant to go heel with The Rock, and WB Shop have put out a brand new farewell tour line for Brussels.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be wearing the same gear, which is fine. Speaking of gear, did you see Travis Scott is releasing a shirt?
Yeah,
wrestling's
boys on the back.
Wrestling's not fake. The scratch logo. And it just popped up on the Euroshop. Guess how much before shipping or anything else?
What would you normally price?
What would you normally charge for a shirt?
Well, they normally charge about 45.
Yeah, and this is before postage, before shipping, customs, anything like that. Just the shirt on its when you see
it. Now it's Travis Scott and they're calling it limited edition, you're talking 80, are you? It
was like 60.
Yeah, I didn't even look at the price. Yeah.
I want it because it looks kind of like a retro shirt, and having the scratch logo on it is fucking class. Yeah, but Cody calling out Cena, I'm very interested to see what happens on Monday. I really hope it's not just John Cena like walking out or getting attacked or something. I mean, I hope it's not Cody just getting attacked by John Cena. Yeah. That's it. Cena needs logic. He needs a reason to do this. But I think there's going to be a point where he turns heel on The Rock, and then he goes on the, sorry about that, guys, part of the farewell tour, and he's back to normal. I don't know, I'm just being too optimistic.
These guys aren't happy at the moment. What's going on here? Hang on, listen, before we get into Raw, I'm going to cheer these guys up, right? In the chat, lads. Here we go. I want to see you create your favorite faction, right? You have to pick a guy from the Golden Era, the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, and the Current Era. Give me your 4-man faction.
God, this is
from those errors, right?
This
will cheer up the chat because the chat's not happy tonight. Romy is not happy tonight. We were all in on Vegas and now he's not happy. Listen, the streak definitely needed to end because imagine what that fucker would be charging now for the 10-man show and everything. If the streak had never ended, that this is what he's charging right now. This guy wants 12.5 grand so you can sit with him and watch Mania in the hospitality box. It's getting ridiculous. Fernando's in. This was the second best cage match of 2025 so far between Punk and Seth. Let's go back to that. She said, yeah, give me your faction, guys. Give me your faction. Right, let's go back to Raw. God, keep these guys happy, you know what I mean? They're not happy tonight. They're not happy. They're not getting what they want. They're like Cody crybabies. They're not getting what they want. They're saying the crybabies.
Nothing but complaining.
They weren't happy when he was face, and now they turn him heel, and they're still not happy. Yeah. No pleasing somebody.
Then they say, "Oh, we've great taste in music. So why is it Limp Bizkit last night? That's shite. You shouldn't be listening to that." God,
I'd rather be sitting at home listening to Scott Steiner hating on Hulk Hogan.
You could win the lotto in their behalf, and they still wouldn't be happy.
Absolutely,
that's great. No, I don't think the Cody promo was bad. As I said, we're not going to get movement until John Cena shows up to work. Until that bald fraud shows up to work, and I'm not talking about The Rock. So
you're talking about the O and NWO.
Yeah, absolutely. The O,
as they say.
So I think by Monday we'll have answers and we'll have some constructive work on.
I bet Priest gave Schultz a receipt for saying Puerto Rico was a dump at Trump's rally backstage at Raw. Love it, love it. And if they've any sense, they should have videoed it.
Yeah, when you said Schultz, I thought you were talking about Doctor David Schultz. Then I remembered Andrew Schultz was at this.
Andrew Schultz,
the month-long HBK heel. Yeah, I don't know. But see, the thing is, HBK wasn't retiring that year. so you could forgive it. But John Cena is, I don't know what's.
I've heard. What's your thoughts on this? I've heard Punk and Rollins being described as the modern day Shawn and Brett. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think they're certainly both good enough and big enough to be the Brett, and yeah, I mean that's the real shit there. That's the real. Anyone else, forget about it. You have the strength and the power in Nails. You have the raw power of Gilbert. You have the high flying of Nunzio, and you have whatever James Ellsworth does in there. Probably making tea for the other three.
The chin.
And the no chin, and the no chin music.
No chin music. There we go.
That was. I know we've been giving you a bit of shit, but that was perfect, Romy. I think with Punk and Seth, they're definitely good enough. But yeah, fuck it. I mean, I'm already shamed myself by talking about how good Limp Bizkit is. Punk and Seth are the Shawn and Brett of this generation.
I reckon Shawn spoke about this before on the show 2 weeks ago as well. I reckon Cena doesn't finish in December. I reckon you could bet the farm on the fact that he's going to be at New Orleans.
He's going to finish in April.
April next year.
Yeah. Hope. Yeah, that's the plan anyway. I don't know.
I love that, Romy. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. One of few that would describe it that way. Not even my wife says that to me, but I appreciate it.
I'm happy seeing your face, man.
Brilliant. Hogan, Stone Cold, Brock Lesnar, and Roman. There
Murder's
you go.
I was going to say Murderer's Row, and then I saw Hogan was on there.
I went with Hogan, and I went with Hogan, Rock, Cena, and Roman. That's who I was thinking.
I don't think I planned one, but when we get to the slide, I'll give you 4.
Yeah. Right, talk to me. Steel cage. Roman coming in, breaking the place up.
Yeah. I'm just happy. You know, any other time he did this would have been disqualification in a steel cage, because WB like to have these matches where anything goes except when anything goes. I have heard people be a little upset that I think people are just desperate for Punk to main event or a Mania, properly main event a Mania. So I think people are saying inserting Roman into this is a bit meh, and I kind of understand that, but at the same point, Seth was one of the many people who cost Roman the belt against Cody. And Punk has been running his mouth about Roman, and they have never crossed paths since he's come back.
This guy's kind of wrapped us up in the whole attitude era here, hasn't he? He's taking liberties here and just developing his own style and faction there.
Yeah, you know there's meant to be 4 years.
Yeah.
And you've just gone attitude. Yeah,
and the current there, Shawn Michaels sits behind the desk and runs NXT.
So does Triple H. But The Rock is kind of current. His final boss, like, maybe understand that. And Steve Austin must be. Yeah, there's only one meant to be from the attitude era, so I don't know. Maybe Stunning Steve Austin or
I don't know.
Superstar Steve Austin.
Still has somebody in hair.
Ringmaster Steve Austin.
Everest is in. Ultimate Warrior, Steve Austin, Undertaker, Roman Reigns. Great shit.
Ultimate Warrior. If you want a great Ultimate Warrior match and Hogan match, I'd recommend their match at Halloween Havoc 98, I think. Oh my god, it's the fireball spot. It's so funny.
Good lord.
Can't get it over. Andre the
Giant, Ken Shamrock, Fifth Finlay, Otis.
You had me at Otis.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Interesting.
Yeah, two giants and 2 killers.
There you go. What more would you want? Sprinkle with a little bit of crazy Irish as well.
Romy,
I would pay to watch Ellsworth try and fold a bedsheet with his chin and then go to Limp Bizkit kick.
What is it about Limp Bizkit that you wouldn't like? Is it the music? Is it the atmosphere? Is it the people who go? And you say James Ellsworth folding a bedsheet with his chin as if that's not a fucking hilarious image that I'd love to see. like in a back.
Do you know what might be nicer? If Shawn Michaels went to super kick him and just misses him because there ain't no chin.
Yeah.
Just does a wheel kick that goes right around 360 or something.
Yeah. I'd love that to be like a really unfunny comedy segment backstage at Mania in the pre-show with the celebrity guests.
I know Dark Side of the Ring is coming back next week, right? I know it's coming back next week, but like we didn't ask for a Dark Side of the Ring faction.
Fuck, that rocked me. Oh my God.
Johnny Ace, Vince, Snuka, and Sonny. And the sub is Jake's dad.
Let me try to look at that constructively. Snuka was great. Johnny Ace was pretty good in All Japan. Vince and Sonny could be the mouth of the group.
That I tell you one thing, that could be the legal fees faction. Imagine how much legal fees is wrapped up there in that one there, Romy. Good Lord. Right, he's coming in. Shawn Michaels he lost his hairline instead of his smile.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's only my way of opinion.
Well, it's my way or the highway. My way or watching the stream.
Punk doesn't need the main event at Mania. Punk is a 4-time WWE World Champion. He should be thankful for that.
No, he is thankful, but he absolutely should main event at WrestleMania. And he should have done it at 29. And I say that as the biggest Rock Cena fan. And people say no. John Cena and The Rock main event. Or no, John Cena and The Rock main event at 27. Austin and Rock main event 17. They did Austin and Rock at 18, but it was on the card in the upper half, and the main event was was that Jericho and Triple H? I think. Yeah, it was. Shite. Yeah, but anyway, but Hogan and Rock, I keep saying Hogan, I'm thinking of 18. But The Rock and Austin still had a great match and a good feud, and it was main event. If they really wanted to do Rock and John Cena again, I think they easily could have done upper half the card in 29 and leave the main event for Punk and Undertaker. And if not for Punk, do it for the Undertaker. You know?
Did you watch the first episode of Evolve? I tell you, I think I got through the first segment of it. There's so much wrestling now. I can't get through. It's crazy. I'm always playing catch up. It's mad.
It's pretty quick.
And then I have Dark Side of the Ring coming back next week, and I'm trying to still stay true to Legends and Future Greats and all that kind of stuff. It's crazy. Romy says he loves these lives. He does indeed.
We love you. We love you too. Good to have you, brother.
Punk versus Jericho had no business main eventing over Rock versus Cena.
It didn't main event.
No, but that's the point. A lot of people were saying it could have been or that kind of thing. But,
Well, that match wasn't great either. Punk and Jericho. It was pretty good, but and Rock and Cena was very good, but not very good enough to want to see it next year.
Yeah. Big up, Daz. What's the crack? So, folks, don't forget, anyone else still in there, give us your faction from Golden Era, Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression, and Current Era. Very simple.
I'm overthinking that greatly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just need to name 4 people I like. God. I'll have someone by the end, I promise.
Right, so what did you make of Roman? Roman's back. He's taking everyone out. Heyman cowering in the corner.
2 birds, 1 stone. Reignites the feud with Seth because, as we said, he was one of the people that ruined his Mania match. And CM Punk is someone who he's had history with, but they haven't crossed paths, I don't think, properly since Punk has come back. So now we get that as well. And I don't think it'll be the end when they do have the match. But it's a really good way. I could see this being the main.
This is going to be a triple threat, isn't it? What are they going to do with this? Is this going to be like a triple threat #1 contenders, or is it going to have some sort of a flavor to it that kind of doesn't have a belt but alludes to it?
I don't know. I think it's kind of risky to have the main event of I presume this will be night 1 of WrestleMania. Pigeon chest, he come on, he's like 50. Show him respect. But he looks
0 error, baby.
But I think I don't know about I presume this would be the night 1 main event, and Cena and Cody will be night 2. Doing a night 1 main event, and they did it with Stone Cold and Kevin Owens, no title on the line and no stakes. It was Stone Cold having one more match. That's fine. But this is
do we have to redesign the merch then to co-main event Jey Uso?
I don't know.
Where are we going with this? Are we about to turn around and go, the world heavyweight title literally doesn't mean anything now?
Yeah, or they could just do world heavyweight title here, and then the triple threat is like in the, as you said, the upper half of night 2, or even opening night 2 or something. I don't know.
0 Hour.
Yeah.
Here we go, baby.
God,
we did,
0
yeah.
Hour.
We seen that, Sean. Yeah, some people are just a little bit silly at times.
That was really bad.
Ray looked like he had his SmackDown debut gear on. The advantages of being small.
They call him the biggest little man in history.
There you go. It's just a triple threat grudge match. No stakes needed.
Yeah, but if you're going to have that on the upper half of a WrestleMania card, it needs something.
Yeah, it's got to allude to something, hasn't it? It's got to allude to something.
Yeah. Maybe not like clearly at the minute, but down the line. But,
yeah, here's a question for you. If that happens, who are you going with? Does Punk pick up this win? This would be a big win, wouldn't it? And he's kind of like,
Yeah, I think Punk. But
yeah,
again, I could see it going either way with Seth or with Rey Mysterio.
When Rey and
Kenobi got me distracted because he mentioned Rey Mysterio here, and I saw that and I said Rey. Yeah. No, with Punk, Seth, and Roman, I could see it going either way, but I would kind of lean towards Punk. Do you think they hang out?
Yeah, the hate for each other is only a work.
Deadbeat.
Yeah. Fernando's gone for Punk as well. Yeah, I think Punk as well. I think so. Right, do we need to talk any more on Raw, or will we go into Roadblock?
Go into Roadblock.
Right, let's go into Roadblock because we spoke about the steel cage and Roman and Io Sky, the 2 slaps heard around the world, and I don't know. I'm not digging this Bianca Naomi crap. Are you? I'm not digging it at all.
Little bit, because I think we're getting developments, and the fact that Jade is back means we can have some proper storytelling. I don't know. No, it'd be good.
We should see. Right, let's
talk
Roadblock.
Very good show. Very, very, very good show indeed. And a good main event. As opposed to the other one, but I do feel a bit of sympathy for Julia.
Roll me. I have a slide for this, but I just can't put it up. I can't. I didn't even include it in the stream. The amount of stuff going around at the moment, those are Kishi ones with the face change. Oh my god. Desperate.
I did it for Bianca. I did it for the people.
Oh god.
My god, can you imagine? I hope it is her. But no, Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy defeat Nathan Frazier and Axiom. People are saying like it's a burial. Like, people are saying they shouldn't have won. I'm like, well, it's not, because the Hardy Boys are an established tag team, and the belts are not on the line. So it's not like, And Frazier and Axiom, I think, are established at this point.
Yeah,
they've done good work on their own, but they've really shone as a tag team. I think.
Yeah.
And the Hardy Boys still got it. I think Matt still moves around a little bit, like he shot himself and doesn't want to know, and has to can't take it home right away. So has to.
He used to describe Matt as the Matt technical guy. He was the grounded guy, wasn't he? Jeff was always the high flyer.
Yeah.
Some things never change.
No, but no, they looked really good. I think Sean, Mr. Courtney, actually mentioned Scrappermania tickets are on sale on Monday. No word on who's going to be there, but I think Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy would be a pretty cool catch. We'll have to see, though. Just thought. Mickie James appearing, giving pep talk, Jada Parker. A lot of the times when there's the legends, it's, hey, look, a legend is here. And also, they really want us to like. It happened a lot with Seth. I think when Seth was in his really annoying, unlikable babyface run, I think it's SummerSlam in 2019 where he beat Brock. Or was it? No, it was 20. Yeah, it was 2019. He beat Brock, and it was in Canada. So backstage, he was talking to Bret Hart. So it was, oh my God, Bret Hart, and then, they really want us to like him. They want to show us Bret Hart like them.
What did you make of Mickie James being replaced on LFG by Michelle McCool?
I'm not saying anything, but the Undertaker's on that show as well, so I can imagine the. I don't know. Maybe
I had no influence on the decision. Can you imagine?
Yeah. Is that permanent though? Do you think, or
I don't
was
know.
there
I don't
any
know.
like particular reason given out for it, or?
I didn't dig into it deep enough. I just think he's a bollocks, so I didn't bother.
Yeah, I felt so
that
bad.
kind of way.
Yeah, I felt so bad for that girl who wanted to use the Hell's Gate.
Yeah, and the way she walked up so sheepish.
Yeah.
You're coming up to me.
As I said last week, it's not like she said, so I have a gimmick idea. I was one run by you. So I'm an evil, undead funeral parlor worker, and I make my eyes roll to the back of my head, and I, just say, hey, can I use a Gaga Plata that has been used by a lot of other people that you just happen to use?
You just happen to call it something else.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of people do the tombstone before him as well. So just saying. Jordynne Grace and Roxanne Perez was another really, really good match. I think they're both just brilliant. Jordynne Grace especially is a legend.
You got to admire a girl who can do those one-arm press-ups from the chair and all, don't you?
Yeah, Undertaker.
Respect there.
Undertaker making an appearance, giving advice to Obafemi, charged $1,200 probably just to be in the same room.
Yeah,
and obviously
go out there to your yard.
Yeah,
go away.
and anyway, revolute me $2,000.
Oh, Obafemi standing there, 6'5" monster. Yeah, take her. You're not talking to Rhea Ripley now.
Yeah, well, obviously the advice worked because he beat Moose afterwards. TNA. It feels I don't know why, but I always considered the TNA X Division Championship to be like a cruiserweight championship. Because I think of the people who've held it, like Alex Shelley and AJ Styles and Rockstar. Not like cruiserweight, but like the cruiserweight light heavyweight. So the fact that Moose, who is quite a tall man and quite a big man, as I can tell you as I've met him.
Both of them.
Yes, is holding that seems a bit foreign. But it's all good. But Obafemi, I think, is absolutely fantastic. It's only a matter of time till he gets called up to something bigger. But this is another great match. And I hope that the TNA I know it will. I hope the TNA involvement continues. So I think there's a few other people in there that I think Moose could have a really good match with.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys, he wasn't on the show, but on the poster now, at the back, just beside Stephanie Vacour, Trick Williams.
Yeah.
Imagine him against Moose or something like that.
New York. It's isn't it really cool the way they're intertwining both companies? It's really, really cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, imagine telling some years ago this is going to happen. You'd laugh in their face, wouldn't you?
Even a year ago. Imagine saying a year ago on NXT they're going to be defending the TNA titles. Yeah. And we're also going to have the X Division champion on it. And actually, the X Division champion is going to be 6'6" and weigh over 300 pounds.
I remember years ago, WWE were trying to buy TNA from Billy Corgan and Dixie, just to embarrass them. So can you imagine going then and saying like they're going to be collabing with each other? I mean, it's insane. Absolutely.
That's actually very interesting. Daz came in, he says his faction would be Evolution. We didn't quite mean that. We meant to like pick 4 members from those different areas to make your own faction. But Evolution actually ticks all the boxes when you think about it. How about you?
Golden Era, Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Attitude Era,
Triple H. Ruthless, Batista.
An Attitude Rand. Yeah. Oh my God.
Current there, Randy Orton. So there you go.
I think Daz is ahead of the curve.
It's a great show, Daz.
Because I was overthinking everything. I was like, who do I have here? Who do I have here? Who do I have? And you're just like a faction that already has.
Yeah.
And they're called Evolution.
Yeah.
Now I know why.
Roadblock was the best non-PLE NXT show ever. There you go. Great show. Romy, very happy for Stephanie Vacour. And Romy was all in when she was coming in first. Absolutely outstanding. Her and Julia. Absolutely outstanding. Outstanding.
Probably two best pickups they've got in a long time.
I have to say, folks, normally a style that I'm not mad into, you were going to touch on the New York City street fight. Javon Evans, I tell you.
He is unbelievable. I remember watching the first ever episode. Sorry, I'm pulling up a sock here, which is why I'm
it's okay.
Looking this way. OTT sock, actually. I watched the first Deadlock Pro Wrestling episode. and the first match was Yvonne Evans, then called
Oh,
Lucky
sure.
Ali, I believe,
Mm.
against Kid Bandit. And I could tell that he was great, really, really good. And I'm really happy he's getting to shine. And I'll be honest, I've never truly forgave or got back into NXT when Black and Gold ended.
Mm.
But because, God, what was the last show? Was it Vengeance Day? The last show was.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard it was on earlier.
Mm.
It was midnight instead of 1 a.m. So I said, you know
Yeah.
what? Actually, I might give this a go. And I really, really, really liked Yvonne Evans.
Mm.
And I
Very
remember how
impressive.
good he was. And Ethan Page was always kind of middling to me, like fine, but never a guy who would be like a world champion. I think he's been great as well in NXT so far, and they had a really good match. I think these street fights they all follow the same formula. It's very easy for them to be formulaic and the same shit, but
street trousers and knee pads.
Yeah. And a chair and a couple ladders and a lot of chairs.
Yeah.
At least one spot with like a take of chairs on the floor.
Mm.
But the thing is, like, it's a wrestling match at the end of the day. So if the wrestling's good, which it was here, you can kind of not forget about it, but overlook the consistency. You know what I mean? Like doing the same thing over and over and over. Jokes by yeah.
Would you say he moves like he's seen the spirit at the top of his stairs? Just saying.
No.
Undertaker appearance, excellent.
Yeah, I wonder how much it cost. You know, I saw
rematch with Sean at Mania.
Yeah, you know, For the Love of Wrestling, that convention that they held in Manchester. I saw they have an Undertaker tribute, and I thought, he's not dead. Why not just get the real Undertaker? And then I realized what he was charging for the hospitality thing. I'm like, oh yeah, that's fine actually.
Yeah. The toast and the whiskey doesn't include the ticket price for the show.
No.
So you can come up here, toast of whiskey with me, and then get the hell out of here. Unless you bought a ticket.
The Bianchish. No,
sure. Bianchish.
Surely to God, that's not a real thing.
I can't put that up. It's been an amazing few days of women's wrestling. Been an amazing few days of wrestling, but especially women's wrestling. Yeah, absolutely. McCool as coach is like having Tony Khan do a drug bust. Chelsea Green, her Scottish Secret Service's best thing in wrestling now. She was brilliant. She was brilliant the other day as Cactus Jack, wasn't she? She's a super talented girl, really. We ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah. Victoria should have been coach on LFG.
Yeah.
Good show.
Would have been better than, yeah.
Good show.
I remember my brother, this is a Victoria story, very quick. My brother was in the Thunderdome for the 2021 Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Victoria came in, like, I can't remember what number she came in. But she came in, my brother audibly said, "Who the fuck is that?" And then his screen froze. And he was out. They got rid of him for not knowing who Victoria was.
God.
So you can tell, yeah.
Oh, the one where they did all the screens, yeah.
Yeah, it was the one in the Thunderdome. A good Rumble, but I can't bring myself to watch it back. I can't bear myself.
No. Wrestling without fans, horrible. TNA tag titles look better than the NXT tag titles. What is it about it? What did you like? Is it the red inlay and the red strap? What is it that you liked about it? They did look the part now, in fairness.
I think we're just accustomed to WWE having black straps for every belt.
Yeah.
And also TNA have had a history of making really nice belts.
Yeah,
Obi Femi and Braun. Yeah.
Great
oh my God.
Yeah, great shoot.
Who'd fall first?
You could also, we could send Braun over to become the next X Division champion, bring it back.
Why not?
Listen, if we're going to be putting big guys in there in the X Division now, we're going to have a problem though if they want to go do Ultimate X. Roadblock was a WCW star. Star. There we go. Yeah, I thought this was super pay-per-view. I thought Stephanie was excellent. If you haven't watched it, folks, check it out. Javon Evans versus Ethan Page, unbelievable. Obviously, Obafemi versus Moose, you know what you're getting. Incredible build up, and just from top to bottom all the way down. And to start off with the Hardys versus Axiom as well was really, really cool and stuff like that. And all it sets the same. When the Hardy Boys come out, gets people out of their seats and stuff like that, especially on the New York crowd, who can be quite, they want to be entertained, and they'll let you know if they're not.
They're either with you or against you, and it's never any in between.
Yeah, absolutely. We have an updated card, obviously, for WrestleMania. We got our graphic. We finally got our graphic, but I think it's going to change.
How does it look worse? My God. That Cena one is, I know, like, it's the only picture they have, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah. It's not great.
Yeah.
It's not great.
I'm sure they'll have a better one by Monday.
Absolutely. Want to get your thoughts on this as well. 91 days. We had a feeling, I was worried about this when it came in, and I was thinking, I know Bo got injured or something like that. But not Bo Howdy, I should say. But I'm just wondering. I didn't feel there was any longevity in this, in the way that the package was going, how they present stuff, how they mix it up, how they book wrestling now, and all that. Pro wrestling's back on the marquee. What's your thoughts on this? Is this just quietly gone away?
I don't think the car ran out of petrol. I think it just, the engine cut out. Because it just seemed it wasn't like they were getting boring and they gradually went off TV. Like, they just kind of disappeared. I don't know. But I have heard Alexa Bliss is set to come back soon. And she will be involved somewhat in the Wyatt Six. So if that's true, I'd assume that would give them a bit of a boost. But then again, like, if they are still here, what do you have them do?
It's just, how do you book them?
Yeah,
it's just,
that's
like, you know what I mean? If you're going to do, say, Gunther versus Jey Uso, you're going to do Punk, Rollins, Roman, you're going to do all these different things. You look at these cards we've just gone through, and even the makeup of Raw and everything else as we look through and stuff like that. Where do you drop on SmackDown or Raw, whatever it is, the Wyatt Six? Where do you drop them in, and where does it make sense, and who do they feud with? Even the stuff with Gable was a bit, like, it was okay, but it was a bit, a bit jarring at times. So I just don't know how you fit this in. And I said, look, maybe they need to think about this really before they push the button on it, because obviously the emotion of Bray Wyatt and everything else and everything that happened and all
of course,
is tough, you know what I mean? And this kind of, when these guys come out, I think they jar an emotion of something that people have lost, and it kind of brings it down a little bit. I think if you're gonna keep the memory going of someone and stuff like that, I think it should be something for a special event. Like if they do a Halloween Havoc, you bring out the Wyatt Six. Yeah, so something like that, where if the suit fits, wear it. I don't know, rolling these guys out. You've Gunther walking back past them after laying people out with chops and technical stuff and all, or you know what I mean. You have Rollins and Punk and stuff like that, and they're all walking backstage, and then out comes these five and. Or the six, or whatever you want to call it. And, even with Alexa Bliss going in there, is that the right thing to do?
I don't know. It's just, it's kind of hard for them to find purpose, really.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I don't know where I was when JFK, like everyone always knows where they were when JFK was assassinated. I know where I was when I heard the news about Bray. There's a lot of sad, and it's not like we don't care about them. It's just, we all love and miss Bray Wyatt so dearly. And we really want this to work, but it's very limited. It's almost just like Bray Wyatt was at his worst. It was very, very limited to what he could really be done with them. And I feel the same about the Wyatt Six.
Yeah.
But the worst thing is they've been gone 91 days. Been gone all that time and barely didn't even think about it until the slide came up. I don't know. It's really, but look, I love Bray Wyatt. I love what they did. The promos and everything. Like, I've been on episodes of the podcast with you, like when they debuted with, I think, it's with Sean, when they debuted and when they had their first match, and we were all over them. It's crazy just to, but I love everyone in there. I love what they're doing, the promos and the build and the QR codes. I was so into that.
Yeah.
I really, they say time heals all wounds. Now, 91 days might be a bit much. But I just hope that when they do come back, because there's no way that they won't be back, but when they do come back, that we'll have something for them, because they're all talented people honoring a remarkable person who deserved the work.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so tough. Right, we want to talk quickly about this. WWE has listed out its 30 heel turns. We're not going to go through all 30 because they're up there. Who feel pretty deadly.
God.
Oh God, can you imagine? Imagine they didn't even know what to do with them. But safe to say they have Cena up there now as number one because it suits the narrative, of course.
Fair.
Hogan
Yeah.
joins the NWO. Rollins turning on the Shield. We went through some of them. Sean turning on Marty Jannetty, the barbershop, absolutely legendary. Dominic turning on the Dad, obviously a clash, which was pretty cool. I don't know whether I'd put it at number 5, but it's in there
No.
anyway. Xavier and Kofi turning on Big E. This is a lot of suiting the narrative, the background. Becky turns on Charlotte at SummerSlam. Yeah, absolutely in there. Jimmy and Jay. While the turn was kind of cool, the upshot of it was horrific.
Yeah.
Nikki Bella turns on Brie Bella.
I wish she died in the womb and such.
Yeah. I think this for me, this is more a listing than that else. Paul Bearer turns on The Undertaker. Batista turns on Rey Mysterio. That was going to kill because he bet the bejesus out of him.
Yeah.
Triple H attacks Bryan, leading to Randy Orton cashing in Money in the Bank at SummerSlam.
Also, on the list, Shane McMahon turning on The Miz. Vigorous jazz hands. Yeah. I mentioned it last week. It's really good.
Number 13, it's in there. Bob Backlund snaps on Bret Hart. The Mega Powers explode, obviously, which was huge. Eddie Guerrero turning on Rey Mysterio. Yes. Trish Stratus turning on Chris Jericho. Scott Steiner joins the NWO. I don't know. Even going back to varsity, Scott Steiner, he still had a problem pushing me as a babyface.
Yeah. Hang on. Shinsuke Nakamura turning on AJ Styles over Kevin Owens, but it's 29 and 30 at the bottom.
Okay, yeah.
They put Shinsuke turning on AJ after the most totally fine match in WrestleMania history over Kevin Owens betraying Sami Zayn. Now, I'm not sure if that's Kevin Owens betraying Sami Zayn in NXT or if it's at some other point.
Yeah.
Can you imagine telling your son that Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles had a match at WrestleMania, but it was actually Walter and the guy from the Quebecers who had the best match that weekend? You'd laugh, wouldn't you?
Do you know if I'm right? Do you know what's not on this list? Batista turning on Ric Flair. Remember to get his way.
Yeah,
he beat the shit out of Ric Flair.
Yeah, it was rotten. Yeah.
Mark Henry fake returns to turn on John Cena.
Yes. I'm really hoping Cena's last night is going to be like that.
we got a thing in on the email about Mark Henry's doing an after party for WrestleMania in one of the clubs in Vegas.
Oh, you can go.
The lads. I don't know. I'm not too sure. CM Punk attacks The Rock on Raw 1000. Matt Hardy turns on Jeff. Ciampa turns on Gargano. Ric Flair turns on Sting. Lita betrays Kane to join Edge.
Come on, that's not like.
Well, it lead to one of the more nicer moments on Raw, in fairness.
Ah, yeah. Very nice.
No, you don't let it slip. Huh?
No.
Ben Balor attacks Johnny Gargano. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So there's a decent list there, but there's 30 there. I'm sure there's a few others we could put in, and I'm sure we could update the top 10 really and stuff like that because it's mainly associated with a lot of current stuff at the moment.
I don't think there's anything majorly wrong with any of the ones on the list there. They all serve their purpose.
Yeah.
But John Cena literally shook me to my core. So I feel a little bit of recency bias having that one. But understandable. Yeah. The Seth turning on the Shield was just.
Hope they don't unify the North American and Women's NXT next championship.
I wouldn't think so. I hope not.
No. They've plenty of talent down there, padded out anyway. So, Wyatt 6, Nikki and Alexa as a team, Gacy and Rowan as tag, and have Dexter go for the US title. Maybe it's not a bad breakdown, but it's kind of like.
It's still hard to think, even though there's nothing majorly wrong with that idea.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
You kind of feel it's Howdy that keeps it together, and if that doesn't work out, everyone else kind of goes.
Yeah,
or gets repackaged.
Yeah. Hey, Hogan still can be done. No, absolutely not. Absolutely cannot be outdone. That shook wrestling to its core at that point, and it changed his career for the better at that point. He became one of the most boring, hated, generic baby faces to the coolest. I wasn't alive during the NWO, but I remember hearing that DX and NWO shirts were banned from schools because apparently they were promoting gangs.
Yeah. And I suppose teachers don't like being told to suck it.
Yeah,
It
or
doesn't sit well with them.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Having said that, now this heel turn from Cena has kids kicking their figures out their front door and all sorts
Mm.
of stuff at the moment. If you've seen the videos, proper
it
meltdown
had
going
me heartbroken at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Johnny Ace turning on Vince. I like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
Can you
Yeah.
believe Johnny Ace main evented a pay per view with shite John Cena over CM Punk and Danny Bryan? Shad turning on, yeah, God,
Yes.
I can't
Great
believe I
show.
forgot about that. That was,
Great
it's
show.
just, I will say though, the heel turn was good.
Sean turning on Marty is number 4. That's in there. That's number 4.
You probably couldn't see it because it just says Shawn Michaels turning on Mary Jannetty. You wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
You just say barbershop and everyone knows.
Yeah, that's in there, all right. The Miz turn on John Morrison was also low key good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, in 2009 was it or something? Yeah, 2009.
NXT Women's title is what he meant. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
No. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
No,
Miz and Morrison's good. See, like they're all good, but it's very hard to condense this to 30.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who did great things, and you know it's tough.
Natalia has a book coming out which should be interesting. The Last Heart Beating from which is obviously not true.
Nope.
But just interesting title. From the dungeon to WWE. Some interesting stories that she hasn't told and stuff like that. I'm sure.
I wonder what people who don't like wrestling or don't know about wrestling would think she means when she says the dungeon.
Yeah.
I will say I never really cared for Natalia too much, but I bet she has a lot of interesting stories.
Really?
Like a good wrestler, but terrible on the mic, no character, bad. Yeah. Kind of same way I feel about Charlotte. No charisma, nothing really likable.
Struggled to sell the heel to us, didn't she?
Absolute, exactly. Like Charlotte, like a lot of people. But she was always a good wrestler. Came from a great family of wrestlers, and I'm sure she'd have a lot of good stories to tell. So I might get it. Yeah, I think it's when's it? Is it October or something like that? It's not for a while anyway.
Yeah, I think it's out. Yeah, it'll be coming out then. Yeah, but certainly interesting. Yeah. Roddy turned on Snuka and obviously Andre and Hogan.
Yeah, on Piper's Pit, I think that was, wasn't it? Andre and Hogan.
It was on Piper's Pit. Andre ripped the chain off Hogan's neck and the chain and cross.
And what did Hogan put in his eyes? It was like something to make him cry. But he was like very.
Maybe Vince just offered him a smaller check, maybe, and that made him cry.
Shoved the pepper in his eye.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean, Natty is doing a match in NWA. Seen that yet?
And she's also doing Bloodsport on Mania weekend, which is going to be brilliant.
I'll go to Natalia's dungeon.
Built.
You'd be taking a ticket. You'd be in the queue. You'd be in the queue. But yeah, the book is out and stuff like that. Wanted to finish up with this before we go into a bit of history. But of course, this came out. Eddie Kingston, of all people, not happy with AEW. This came out on Instagram, of course. Love is the highest elevation of understanding. I don't understand AEW anymore after last night. Why come back?
He's absolutely coming back. Let's get to the birthdays.
Let's
remember he quit AEW a while ago, like last year. Was back. He's just I think he's saying that because of Moxley and the Death Riders.
Yeah.
You know, and everything they've done and the destruction they've caused.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like actually him saying I don't understand AEW.
The amount of pairs of runners they've caused.
Yeah. I don't think he's saying I don't understand AEW DM for booking inquiries. I think he's just saying it's a mistake and he needs to go back and change it. But I don't know how far along he is with his recovery. But I have seen him doing praying with like a shaman. And I will say, if that's Eddie Kingston, you should be in a lot of trouble when he comes back.
Don't really rate Eddie Kingston. That's okay. He's not for everyone.
He's a very acquired taste, and I think you can like say whatever you want about him in ring and stuff, but you can't deny the intensity and the raw passion that he brings. A lot of people don't really have anymore. Like Eddie and Mox taking. Well, not at the minute because Mox is doing his own thing with the Death Shiters.
Yeah.
And Eddie's out, and when he comes back, I don't imagine he'll be too happy because he retired Bryan Danielson. And then has made AEW the kip that it is. And also Claudio's with him. Claudio is his enemy. Moxley was Eddie Kingston's friend.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Let's see.
Eddie coming back in as the disgruntled employee, not happy. Could be a way of switching
sounds familiar.
Yeah, absolutely sounds familiar. Yeah. Eddie, I like him, and I can be a on wrestlers, as Niall knows. Absolutely.
I can tell you're a fussy CUNT on music as well.
Do you know, it's interesting because I can look at this and I can fully see why people potentially don't buy into him, and I can also see why people kind of go with him and stuff like that. So I can see it both ways on this one, so it's interesting. That's for sure.
Like blue cheese, attracts some, repels others. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's blue cheese, not ranch when you're getting your wings, folks.
Hell yeah.
Right, let's get into a bit of history. And I have an unusual flavor of notable birthdays this week, I have to say. So I don't have a huge amount of history, so we'll fly down through it. 1997, on the 200th episode of WWF Monday Night Raw from Worcester, Massachusetts, Jerry the King Lawler and Paulie Dangerously were involved in a worked shoot WWF versus ECW debate. Also, Mankind and Vader defeated Psycho Sid and The Undertaker in the main event. 2008, Chris Jericho won his 8th WWE Intercontinental title by defeating Jeff Hardy on WWE Raw from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I like to keep it in with current kind of stuff, as you know.
Yeah.
1993, former WWF superstar Dino Bravo was brutally murdered in his Quebec home at the age of 44. Bravo was shot 17 times, allegedly due to issues with local organized crime families. The murder was never officially solved. I popped that in there because Dark Side of the Ring is coming back.
Yeah, that's brutal, though.
1996. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, have they done an episode on Dino Bravo?
They have.
Yeah, it was like season 1. It was early season, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of them. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it might have been season 2, actually, I think. But yeah, they definitely did it all right. 1996, Steve Austin debuted his new Stone Cold gimmick at the WWF Raw tapings from San Antonio, Texas. No better place to do it. And a double count-out draw with Savio Vega.
Probably didn't go too far, that Stone Cold gimmick. Imagine that's how you start a double count-out with Savio Vega.
What were they thinking? They thinking? Beat your Bibles, John.
Better than the Ringmaster, I'll say that much.
Yeah. 2004, WWE held their first... See how I link all this into what's currently going on? WWE held their first Hall of Fame ceremony since 1996 at a Hilton Hotel in New York City the night before WrestleMania 20. The induction class included Bobby Heenan, Bobby the Brain, Jesse Ventura, Big John Studd, Don Morocco, Harley Race, Tito Santana, Superstar Billy Graham, the Junkyard Dog, Sergeant Slaughter, Greg Valentine, and Pete Rose, who was the first ever celebrity induction.
Yeah.
What a class. They blew it out there, didn't they? Yeah. I think over the next few years, then they realized, we're running out of people here. We better back off here.
Yeah. I was just about to say, they don't induct that amount of people anymore, really.
No. What's it normally now? 5?
5.
Maybe 5 and one token kind of.
Yeah, like the Warrior Award or the
Warrior Award and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. 2004 WWE WrestleMania 20 was held in the iconic Madison Square Garden, New York.
Great.
The pay-per-view was 4.5 hours long and had 20,000 fans in the arena, with only 885,000 more watching on pay-per-view, which is kind of shocking for that mania.
And probably, as Vince would say, 26 billion others watching on Watch Wrestling up that line.
And it was 93,000 folks, not 73,000.
Those days when there was only 20,000 people at Mania. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, here I went to 22. There was only 17,500. It was in the Allstate Arena.
That's just like a hair bigger than the 3.
CM Punk and Colt Cabana were the gangsters. Remember, for John Cena, Chicago.
Yeah, I didn't know Colt. I knew Punk did it. I didn't know Colt Cabana.
Yeah, no, both of them did it. Yeah, both of them did it. Yes, there you go. Sometimes you have to start somewhere, folks. But yeah, obviously, I mean, WrestleMania 20, so iconic, of course, with the triple threat and stuff, and just to see, obviously, Eddie and Chris Benoit, what we didn't know back then, of course, and all.
Yeah.
To see the two of them there with the two belts was so iconic.
And it sucks because that main event in particular was excellent, but you won't really hear much about it. But seek it out; it's well worth it.
Absolutely. Right, we'll give you some notable birthdays here because this is interesting. We start off really good. Kenta, 1981.
I met him. Good dude.
Yeah,
very nice.
And also Nydia, 1979.
God.
Remember Nydia?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, Jamie Noble wrestled during the match for some reason. I don't know.
Trailer Park, baby. Trailer Park. Little Guido, 1972. Then on the other spectrum, Mae Young, 1923. The King of the Cobra, Santino Marella, 1974. And a friend of the show who's been on the show for an interview, Brian Clark, Adam Bomb, 1964. We have Sheiky Baby, Iron Sheik, 1943.
Fuck the Hulk Hogan.
Fuck the podcast, huh? And we had rounded out, of course, with a man who we were talking about earlier, MJF Maxwell, his birthday this week, 1996.
If Sheik met you, he'd say fuck the Niall Hogan. He'd get you confused for Hulk.
He ran over my leg, and he was on one of these mobility yokes, and he ran over my foot, and I let a scream, and he told me to go fuck myself. It was iconic at WrestleCon. It was one of the greatest moments ever. And then I went up, and I wanted him to. I was getting a pop sign. I have it there, a pop sign by him, and you would swear I signed it myself with the handwriting. It's crazy, like. And he signed it, and I asked him would he put down on the side window of the pop. Fuck the Mondays. Remember he used to go with that? Remember he'd always put something out like that. And there was a representative there because he was doing the Howard Stern show at the time. And he wasn't allowed to do it. He wasn't allowed to put that on it. They wouldn't let him.
Did you ever see someone ringing into Howard Stern when he was on as Macho Man?
Oh my God. Crazy.
He went insane.
Yeah. Crazy.
Oh my God. And I will say about Mae Young, I thought she was born in the Bronze Age at least.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
He did that. Didn't he have to run in with the Warrior as well at one of these conventions? Or something like that?
I will say my biggest flex is John Cena follows me on Twitter, but what would have been a bigger flex is Iron Sheik following me on Twitter.
Yeah.
That Twitter page.
He used to go through WrestleCon and he'd have one of those red mobility scooters and he'd just fucking plow people out of the way.
Yeah.
And he went straight over my foot, and it was literally like a motorbike had gone over it. Yeah. And I just let out a little fucking yell and he goes, "Fuck you!" He started giving me shit on. I was saying, "Yeah, here I was deadly."
I remember like one of his last posts was him threatening to kill Caillou. Caillou, that kid show. Put him in the cable clutch, break his neck, make him humble.
God, yeah. Let's see where we at. Let's round out with these. Eddie and Mox taking over. We did that one. Eddie, I like him. And we did that one, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
There we go. Bully Ray won the heavyweight title.
TNA.
12. Yeah, TNA. Yeah, unreal.
God. Bully Ray, you call him that.
Bully Ray, yeah. It's mad, isn't it? It's Jay Cargill's husband's birthday every day by her cake. We need a Crash Holly Dark Side episode.
Yeah, I'd love that, but it'd be tough. Be a tough watch now, I suppose, to go on there. One I actually really wanted, and I found out it was going to happen, but his girlfriend put a stop to it. Mike Awesome. That would have been a brilliant episode.
Yeah, Rick Rail Dark Side as well. Yeah, that'd be interesting. 20,000 fans. Limp wish they had that. Sorry, Sean had to do it.
Mate, it was pretty much sold out.
We had 12,000 fans last night, and the place was packed. There wasn't an empty seat, and it was crammed in like sardines on the floor.
And I was at Belsonic. I saw them in June last year. That has like maybe 50,000 capacity. So with New Jack and Honky Tonk. Nightmare Blunt rotation. Iron Sheik, New Jack, Honky Tonk.
How many were at Woodstock 99? Good Lord. Just see you, people.
5 million.
Sheiky showing his ass with New Jack and Honky Tonk. yeah, the RF video shoot was unreal, wasn't it?
They were great videos.
When they got together. Crazy times. Honky Tonk still talks about them sometimes. He's just a legend. Like, it's just, the boys were blasted, weren't they? It was just like, oh my God. Remember didn't they do the Outlaws one as well, and they just went in on Triple H. if I see that
Yeah.
fucker, I'll break his big ass nose and all this.
Yeah.
Oh, remember the Outlaws? And then about 6 weeks later, they're back in WWE. Ah, yeah, we didn't mean any of that. It was all good.
Yeah. Selective.
They came knocking, so we said, yeah, we didn't mean any of that. You know the way people talk when they're not in the company and all this kind of thing. I beat the shit out of that guy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Such a great unit. I still go back and watch some of the clips from it and all. Some unbelievable stuff. If you haven't watched either as well, London and Kendrick, the shoots that they did back then is legendary. And especially the London ones where he had a real problem with Taker. Some of those stories are legendary. You know, Taker's court when they're on tour. London jumps out. London's gone along in a van. I don't know if you've seen this, the journey of Paul London or something like that it's called. And he jumps out of a van and he's screaming for Undertaker. Where are you, Undertaker? All this kind of thing. Jumps a wall and goes into a graveyard screaming. This in the middle of the night. Looking for Undertaker. Absolutely over. I'd say blasted, I'd say. You know what I mean? And you want to hear him. Then he's being interviewed on the couch. And he starts milling himself with a can in the head till he's bleeding, nearly like Sandman, you know. And then he's there and the blood's just running down him. And what does he say?
Paul London.
What did he say? He said, what sort of a grown man drives around with a Jeep with a reg plate on it saying dead man? He just went on a fucking mad one. It was so good. Crazy. But if check out London and Kendrick, God, he goes up to Sonny and all at a convention and gives her shit like. Yeah, he was going up to get an interview with Sonny and all, and she was waving him off and stuff like that and all. And he goes, and then he walks through this double doors and he goes, I didn't want to get a word with you anyway, you fat piece of shit and all this kind of
God.
Just walk up, he goes, I'm mad, like, you want to say it? Like, and then he's in a room, he's in the convention, he's in a room at the back, and he's playing with a Benoit figure. And he keeps going, all this guy crazy.
And he seems so quiet and normal.
Oh man, that time he was nuts.
Yeah.
Wired to the mill. Check it out though, if it's out there, London and Kendrick. I think it's London and Kendrick. They have a green screen as well. And in the green screen, there's just all sheep grazing in this pasture and all and everything. It's crazy stuff. The two boys are out there. Absolutely, man. Billy Jack Hayes' shoot was mad. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be part of this season's Dark Side of the Ring, isn't it? Haven't they a Billy Jack Hayes one?
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah, absolutely. That should be interesting based on latest stuff that's come out now. Has there been a Sunny Dark Side episode? Yeah, I think there was, wasn't it?
They did one with her and Chris Candido. It's really bleak.
Really tough. Yeah, I think Morris had Chris Candido's brother on the podcast a couple of weeks later, and they were talking about it and stuff like that and also. Yeah, check it out on Morris's channel, GP Productions. I think Chris Candido's brother was on talking about it as far as I know. But yeah, that's it, folks. And now we're on 41 we've gone. Good Lord, folks. Good Lord. We had a lot to cover, though, in fairness.
Yeah, and Limp Bizkit probably didn't aid us, but oh well.
There you go, Fred.
Thank you, Niall, for having me, and thank you to everyone in the chat for playing along, apart from Roby Kenobi, but everyone else.
Yeah.
I know,
he's one of the good ones. We love
you. Come back another time. How boring
go out there, roll me and make it your yard. Yeah.
How boring would the world be if we all listened to the same music?
Yeah.
You know?
In theory we do.
Yeah. Apart from doesn't like Limp Bizkit.
Most songs are a rip off of other songs all the time anyway these days.
Yeah.
Right, folks.
Wasn't the Who ripped off Behind Blue Eyes from Limp Bizkit?
Anyway, folks, have a great week. I'm back tomorrow night at 9 with Darren for the upper tier Thursday tier talk. It should be interesting. I'm sure he'll give me a lot of heat over the PSG game, no doubt, and I'll give him a lot of heat over the new circus tent that they're getting as a stadium. So that will be all fun. Make sure you tune in for that. Until next time, folks, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, and of course, drop a like on the video, and keep it going, keep on letting us know your factions and all that kind of stuff. We will be back next week. Probably a lighter week next week, so we'll come up with some mischievous stuff that we can cover and stuff like that, and continue to promote Limp Bizkit. Until next time, folks, stay safe.
If only we could fly.